Hi, everybody. You guys should be logging in right now. And then that's it. Once these are in the lockers with a marker. Hi, everybody. You guys should be logging in right now. Oh, wow. And then we're done. Yep. So you're good. You can do that for me. I can do it. And we're set. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Good. I'll go to my office first. Okay. And then he's going to put those in the classroom. So then that'll be it. All right. Is it all right? Are we all present? It seems like we got 1, 2, 3. We need one more. One more for for quorum. I'm going to go ahead and allow you to share your videos as soon as I can figure all this out here. Here we go. All right. You should be able to share your video now and unmute yourselves. All right, I see Ms. Morehouse, Ms. Torres, Mr. Ortiz. All right, we are just waiting. We need one more person. I don't know if we can text our colleagues. If you have anybody, we just need one more person on the line. Hopefully Ms. Lejarde will be joining us. If we can text her and then we can get started. It should not take that long. We do have stuff that actually just came through last night, so I will be talking about that today as well. Ms. Torres, are you there? Can you hear us? Ms. Torres, Mr. Ortiz, can you guys hear us? Okay, let me try again. Try now. It says you can.
Okay, good morning. It allows me to do that now.
Okay, perfect. And we're just waiting for one more person. We can just, I don't know if you can text Mr. Boyd or I'll try texting him as well. Somebody can text Ms. Lejarde.
Yep, give me 1 second. I'll text him right now.
We have PD as well today, so we should be done by then. All right, good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. I see Ms. Lejarde is online, Mr. Ortiz is online. Ms. Lejarde, can you hear us? Ms. Lejarde, can you hear us? If you can unmute, because I just want to make sure that you can hear us and everybody can hear okay. Ms. Lejarde, are you there?
Yes, do you hear me?
I hear you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for everybody who is present. I'm going to go ahead and get started with today's presentation. It is on the screen. You should be able to see it. If you can't see it, let me know. You can give me a thumbs up if you can see it. Thank you. I see it. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started with today's budget presentation, and then we will have a vote after this. So our CIPP priorities, which are the things that we are working on, are strategy 1, which is curriculum, strategy 2, which is MTSS, and strategy 3, which is supportive and equitable approaches to discipline. We also had a 4th strategy, which is family and community engagement, but we have not started that strategy because the CIPP was created before COVID. So we will be updating our CIPP this school year to reflect these priorities, and then continue with the priorities in the next 3 years. So the current status overview of our budget is as such. We have 22 fewer students in our baseline enrollment, which is kindergarten through 8th grade, and 10 fewer pre-K students. Because of this, we lost 2 teaching positions and 1 ESP position. We have all homerooms covered and our diverse learner teacher positions covered as well. Our operational funds, which are the funds that go towards copy machines, paper, supplies, field trips, and such, are tighter than last year. We have our internal accounts. However, our fundraising was low, obviously because of COVID. This year, our fundraising committee has really worked hard to continue to push that. And then we still have funds to support professional learning. And as always, we can continue to keep children at the focus with making decisions around curriculum, operations, and safety. Question, Ms. Morehouse. You can go ahead and unmute. Ms. Morehouse, you're muted still. Go ahead.
I'm wondering about, so we didn't really have an official start time. And then, am I supposed to be recording all of this in the minutes, like everything?
We're recording on YouTube, and you're right. I apologize, Ms. Torres. That was my fault. You were supposed to call the meeting to order. I apologize. I just jumped right in. So thank you for that, Ms. Morehouse. Ms. Torres, let's back up. Let's go ahead and do that part.
And usually we ask that everyone has their cameras on. Last time,
correct.
especially since we're remote.
Go ahead and unmute and call the meeting to order.
Okay. Good morning. Yeah, I was actually wondering that, and I couldn't unmute myself.
I'm sorry, that's my fault.
It's okay. It's okay. So we'll go ahead and start all over. So I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 8:10 a.m.
Okay, go ahead with roll call.
And we can go ahead and do roll call. Mr. Boyd didn't get the link. Mr. Boyd just texted me and said that he didn't get the link to join the meeting.
Okay, I sent it in his email. I'll do my best to send it via text.
Okay, so I'll go ahead and do the roll call. I'll go by order. Ms. Lajarde?
Yes, I'm here.
Mr. Boyd? Thank you. Mr. Boyd's not here yet. Ms. Carnaccio? I think I saw her. Is she here?
I'm here. Sorry, it just took a bit to unmute. Hi.
It's okay. Good morning. Ms. Nash?
Not here.
Not here. Mr. Calderon? Not here. Mr. Ortiz?
He was here. Oh, there
Okay,
he is. He's back. He's back.
Okay. If he can just unmute himself and just say present. Or maybe he cannot unmute.
Yep, go ahead, Mr. Ortiz.
Okay, I'm here. I'm sorry. My thing is giving me problems.
It's okay. Good morning. And Ms. Morehouse, she's here. Mr. Perez, and myself, Ms. Torres. Okay, and then we'll move forward to approve of agenda.
My motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that motion. Mr. Perez, motion to approve the agenda. Ms. Torres, second the motion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 I,
Aye.
so again, am I supposed to be writing every single thing down or?
Mr. I mean, I would say yes, do a draft of it, but the meeting being recorded, Mr. Perez?
Yes, it's on YouTube, so we can go back to it later if you need to, Ms. Morehouse.
Yeah. I would say yes, and then if you need to go back to the meeting, it's recorded. So either or.
Right, because I can't look at the slides unless you know what, give me 1 second.
Of course.
Mr. Boyd is present now.
Okay, Mr. Boyd just joined.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I know so the next thing on the agenda.
So we all approve the agenda. We can go, if Ms. Morehouse is ready, we can just jump into new business and then you can go ahead and do the budget presentation and then we can vote on it once you're done. And then in reference of having our cameras on, I will turn my camera on in just a minute. I am driving. I'm not gonna lie.
Not a problem. We know that, and we know that others are driving as well. So don't worry.
I am, yeah. I had to drop off my two at high school, so
Don't worry.
driving back home. But how is everyone doing this morning?
Well, it's been a crazy week. Yesterday was interesting. It was the day before spring break, and we went all day with no fights. And then 3:59 hit, and outside there was a fight. But the students were safe, and it was fine.
That's good. That's the way to start the spring break.
It was fine. It was actually, it wasn't like a crazy fight or anything. It was just two students had a conflict and we were able to intervene. Like we intervened at 3:59, but we thought we were gonna be able to leave early and get everything done. You know how that is. I know Ms. Carnaccio understands and Ms. Morehouse and Laharda understand, but yeah, we had a really great day yesterday. It was really a great day.
That's good.
We celebrated autism awareness this week. So we had a spirit week, which was really fun, and really got to students really got to learn more about autism and what autism is and how to work with students with autism. So that was really fun too.
Mr. Boyd said that he's not able to unmute himself.
He just did. He can talk. We can hear him.
Yeah, he just unmuted me right now.
Oh, okay.
Ms. Morehouse, are we set?
This other computer doesn't work.
So that's okay. We can you can go back into the YouTube recording. That will be totally fine. Anybody that needs to reference back, we can always go back to the YouTube, so that will be no problem at all. If you want to write down whatever you catch, that's totally fine. But everyone that's listening to the meeting can always go back to the YouTube recording, so that we can go ahead and get it started. So don't worry, Ms. Morehouse. So we'll move in into new business, and then Mr. Perez, it's all yours.
Okay, moving into new business again. Thank you, and thank you, Ms. Morehouse, for catching that. We're going to go ahead and talk about the school budget presentation for the next school year. So my screen is up. Just want to make sure that we understand. We have CIPP Priorities, which are essentially what are we working on in the school to ensure that we're improving the school and improving the students' academics. We started with strategy number 1, which is curriculum. Strategy number 2, which is MTSS, and that, for those of you who don't know what these acronyms mean, MTSS is where we identify students who are not mastering their current curriculum, and we begin to work backwards and work on their deficits, making sure that they are getting the interventions that they need. If they then do not get those interventions, we then work a little bit more intensively with them, working one-on-one, providing them with in-house tutoring. And then from there, if we still don't see sufficient progress, then we can then refer for any special education services and or any other services that the student may need. Strategy 3 is supportive and equitable approaches to discipline. And this has to do with restorative practices and discipline in the school. And then strategy 4 is family and community engagement. Strategy 4, we had not started because that was supposed to have started this year, but because of COVID and coming back, everything is delayed. So we will be carrying over our priorities into the new CIWP for the next 3 years to ensure that we are able to start fresh and continue with where we are, and that we don't lose momentum on the things that we're already using in the school. So that includes our reading curriculum, our math curriculum, our science curriculum, social studies, and then our social emotional learning curriculum, which essentially is the leader in me. The current status of our budget overview is our enrollment right now is we are in decline of 22 students in the grades of kindergarten through 8th grade. We also have 10 fewer students in pre-K, which gives us a deficit in our budget. This means that we've lost 2 teaching positions and 1 educational support personnel position. We have all of our homerooms covered at the moment. We have all of our special education positions covered at the moment. However, the operational funds, which this year we had quite a surplus of, and next year's operational funds are going to be tighter than they are this year. Meaning we may not have as many field trips because this year we pay for buses, this year we pay for admission. Operational funds that go to things like copy machines, supplies, and things like that are going to be tighter this year, which is why we have our internal accounts. And this is why fundraising is so important. Fundraising helps us to offset those costs on those other operational things that we can do. We still have funds to support professional learning, and that's coming through our Illinois Empower grant. And then as always, we continue to keep children at the focus, continuing with the current curriculum, operations, and safety. So with all of that said, this year we're expecting to be very close to that baseline of 285 students. Our budget may change throughout the course of the year if our enrollment changes. So if we go up, then we will get more funding to the school. If we go down, our enrollment and our budget is locked in. Once we approve the budget today, then what's the school organizational worksheet will then happen, which is what people call the organization list of the school, essentially where teachers will be for the next school year. And then just to ensure that we're obligated under need, policy, and tenure for programming when making staffing decisions. And remember that staffing decisions don't come from me, they come from human resources. So any teacher who is laid off, that is coming from human resources based on tenure, certification, and policy in programming at the school. Okay, I see that Mr. Calderon is present, so I'm going to go ahead and push him through to panelist as well. All right, so the next thing is just a few definitions so that we can see these. 115 is our local funding that we get from property taxes. 115 SA, which is considered called supplemental aid, are the funds that are provided by the state. And then we get Title I funding, which is 332, which are funds that are provided by the federal government. These are the 3 funding sources that our school receives in order to provide teachers, operations, supplies, and things like that as a school. Other funds that we don't control, that I don't have any control of as far as balancing and putting them, are funds that we get for diverse learners, foundational positions. So every school is given 3 foundational positions, which is a principal, a counselor, and a clerk. We get bilingual funding for our ELs. Right now, they gave us a 0.5 position. We get preschool funding, which is the funding for the 4 employees who work in the preschool department, which are the 2 teachers and then the teacher assistants. And then we get food service funding, which is our cafeteria food workers, engineering and utilities, which is our engineer, and then our custodial funds. All of these funds are handled by the district office, and staffing is also handled by the district office with input from me. So at the current enrollment from where we were this school year, Our enrollment numbers look like this. In kindergarten, we had 33 students. In first grade, we had 22 students. In second grade, we had 24 students. In third grade, we had 25 students. Fourth grade, 22 students. Fifth grade, 30 students. Sixth grade, 32 students. Seventh grade, 48 students. Eighth grade, 49 students. All to an equal total of K to 8, not K to 12, of 285 students. And as you can see, this means that in a lot of classrooms, we're going to have one teacher because our classrooms are very little, except for the biggest classroom at the moment, which is our current sixth graders. But that number does not exceed CPS's classroom size number, right? So it has to be 34 or over in order to split the class and or to get a teacher assistant. In 7th and in 8th grade, because we're over 40, there will be 2 teachers in the 7th grade going into 8th grade this coming school year. So what that looks like is this. So because we had a decline in enrollment, that first line that you see there under student-based budgeting, we lost $111,000, $111,920. In the supplemental aid, which is the state funding, we lost $30,509. In the Title I funding, which is the Title I is the funding that we get from the federal government, and that has to do with when they say our lunch forms and our federal income forms, that's where that money comes from. We lost $17,732. In the Title I funding for the PAC or for our parents, we actually gained $109, so we saw an increase there. Then we received a grant for Title II, reduced class sizes, for $40,000. And then in early childhood, we saw an increase of $7,000. All to total a deficit, if you see there in the right corner at the bottom, of $113,053. So in order to balance the budget, we had to cut positions. These were the positions that were centrally funded. The 2 green ones that you see are the 2 new positions that have been given to our school as additional positions. The instructional support leader is the newest one that we just got like in the last 2 days. So with that said, we have the 3 foundational positions, which are the principal, the clerk, and the counselor. We have a core instructional position, which is an interventionist that was given to each school based on their tiers. We have an instructional support leader now, which essentially is a curriculum and reading coach. We have a DL teacher, non-cluster. We have 10 positions there. We have 9 paraprofessionals that go to that are allocated to our current special ed students. We have 4 cluster teachers, which are teachers who teach the autism classroom, 7 cluster paraprofessionals, 1 case manager, 2 pre-K teachers, 2 pre-K teaching assistants, a 0.5 ELPT, and 3 security officers. So these are all of the positions that do not come out of our budget, okay? These are all the positions that are granted with the school based on our school's enrollment, based on our school's IEPs, based off of all of the students who come here. All in all, we ended up with 43.5 positions. That half position we have to fund in order to make it a full-time position. So with that, the Title I, we kind of went over this, but the district wanted to make sure that we understood that there was a reduction in Title I. We went from $233,470 to $215,738 in Title I funding. So this is kind of the summary. And I went over this a little bit speaking to you all, but I want to make sure we see it, right? So we had those declines in each one of these sections. And then we had the increase in Title II of $40,000, which will help to offset some costs. And then an increase in parent funding, which is $109, all to have a total decrease of $113,053. That's even with that $40,000 increase. So when we take a look at our projections for next school year, we are projected to have 20 kindergartners next year. That's 1 teacher, 33 first graders. That is including the first graders who will be in cluster. So in our current gen ed kindergarten classroom, we will only have 23 because there are 9 students in that cluster classroom. In second grade, we'll have 22. In third grade, 24. Fourth grade, 25. Fifth grade, 22. Sixth grade, 30. Seventh grade, 32. And eighth grade, 48. In our pre-K classrooms, we'll have 15 and 15. And then in our pre-K instructional classroom, which is the autism pre-K classroom, is 10. Question, yes.
With the projected kindergarten numbers, like it looks like there's some of the kids from pre-K aren't attending Yates Kinder. Like, are those confirmed numbers when you guys did the call, the reach outs?
Yeah, so right now, that's a great question. Thank you for asking. So right now in our pre-K classroom, we have a total of 11 students. And of the 11, 8 have confirmed that they're coming back.
Okay. So that is an increase then, even that having 20, like you're getting some more from the community in, right?
We got to make sure we get them, but yes,
Yeah.
it's projected, correct.
And can I ask one more question from this? And it's okay if you're like, hey, I'm going to answer this soon. Is the budget number going to get readjusted after the 30-day count in the fall?
The budget does get, so yes, it gets readjusted if our enrollment goes up, if it exceeds the 258.
But not the other way.
Correct, but not the other way, which is a good thing, because in the past, they used to reduce it, and then we'd have to make mid-year cuts, which is not what we want to do.
No, absolutely. And then okay, I'm sorry, last one, with first grade, you said how many kids were in the autism program in first?
There are 9.
Okay.
And
Okay,
as long as they stay here, which we hope they do, then that number will stay the same. All right, any other questions? Okay. So the personnel budget that we purchased, that we use, right, to buy positions are as follows. Right now, we are looking at 1 kindergarten teacher, 1 first grade teacher, 1 second grade teacher, 1 third grade teacher, 1 fourth grade teacher, 1 fifth grade teacher, 1 sixth grade teacher, 1 seventh grade teacher, 1 eighth grade teacher, 1 eighth grade teacher A and 1 eighth grade teacher B. 8th grade is going to be our biggest class, where we'll have 2 homerooms. We have 4 exploratory teachers, 1 for music, 1 for PE, 1 for health, and 1 for digital reading. And then we'll have our educational support that we will continue to have, which is the interventionist, the dean, and the ELPT. And I apologize because the interventionist is not a part of this budget, so it should not be there, because that is now being provided by the district. And then we will have 5 recess monitors and 1 assistant principal. So yes.
Is that the same as the reading coach or no?
Is what the same as the reading coach?
Oh, is the reading coach provided by the district or no?
It is this coming school year, yes.
Is that the same as an interventionist?
No, it's not. Those 2 different positions. The reading coach just came 2 days ago. They announced that they were giving a coach to every school.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, it was like, I was like, this is awesome. So which helps. So those are 2 new positions that teachers can apply for. The reading coach position is a 228-day teaching position, meaning that there is some summer work. And the interventionist position is a regular 196-day.
Well, but there's only going to be 1 reading coach.
There will be only 1 reading coach and only 1 interventionist, correct?
Oh, and all right. Okay. Thank you.
So the current reading coach position is paid for through a grant called the Illinois Empower Grant, and that we don't have this year, so that position was lost or was closed.
Okay. So you have to reapply for those.
Yes. Okay. So our budget benefits, our staffing pretty much remains stable. Our class sizes are still going to be small except for 6th grade. Our current programs that we have, which includes after-school programming, before-school programming, subscriptions to websites like BrainPop, Nearpod, and those things will be sustained. Wraparound services are going to remain the same. So we'll have a full-time social worker, occupational therapist, physical therapist, excuse me, as we continue to have, and our speech pathologist in the building. Supply money and operational money is tight, but we will remain consistent with that to ensure that teachers receive the supplies they need. We had an increase in funding for after-school tutoring this coming school year with Lsc, so we will be taking advantage of using that for tutoring this coming school year instead of taking money from SES and instead of paying that out of budget like we have in the past. And then we will have a bucket for teachers and ESPs to stay after school and come before school and participate in things like curriculum development and or instructional leadership teams. So the budget decisions that have been made at the moment is that we had to close 2 teaching positions and maintain an AP position. And we closed 1 ESP position also to allow for additional funding. And that is the end of the budget presentation. Are there any further questions? Yes, Ms. Carnaccio.
Which 2 teaching positions did you close?
So they are 2 teaching positions, and unfortunately we can't say which teaching positions they are because that's HR.
Oh, which grades? I guess I'm like abstractly, I'm kind of confused, like where it went, where.
So it's not how the budget works. It's just they tell us you have 42 positions and you need to close 2 of them. And then,
totally makes sense.
Yeah, and so then they just and then each teacher is then reworked into the budget based on tenure and certification and or evaluations.
Totally. Thank you. Sorry, I was like, that 100% makes sense. One more question. Do you buy the other half position for ELPT, or do you keep that as a half position?
Yeah, we do buy the other half. So that's going to be here. And this is the budget that we purchased. So the other half is there at the bottom under educational support.
I appreciate it. It's laid out very well. It's just this stuff's so complicated. So I appreciate you doing the Q&As.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions?
So was that like our decision to close the 2 teaching positions and maintain the AP position, or could you hire 2 teachers and not have an AP?
We could do that.
Just wondering.
All of those things are possible. I just have to say, running a school without an AP is very difficult. And it's always the conversation we have all the time. With that said, I will not be able to run a school without an assistant principal. I have to be honest with you, especially our school and the dynamics that we have with all the programming that we have. So that's the reason why I am asking the LSC to make sure that they approve to have an assistant principal. In this case, coming in the school year, if we need to, and that's something that we've already discussed with the current assistant principal, is that if we have any holes, she will be filling in to teach as well if she needs to, right? And so we may have to have a teaching assistant principal next school year. All right, any other further questions from anybody on the local school council? All right. Is there a motion on the table?
A motion to approve the budget?
I second that motion. Ms. Torres?
Sorry, I'm here. All right, Ms. Carnaccio, motion to approve the budget. Mr. Perez, second that motion. All in favor?
Aye. Please unmute yourself.
Aye.
Torres,
Aye.
hear you?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so it looks like, wait, we have,
So
is Mr. Calderon there?
Mr. Calderon?
I am. I said I.
All right, Mr.
Okay.
Calderon, by the way, welcome. Ms. Carnacho is our new community rep. Just wanted to let you know, so you guys are both community reps.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like motion does pass.
All right, motion does pass. Next thing is announcements. Don't forget that on April 20th, we have elections for LSC. Please be sure you tell your community members, your family members, your neighbors and all to come in and vote for you. We want to make sure that we are continuing forward with our current LSC and those members who are running. Is there another motion on the table?
Nope.
There should be. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Oh. Of course. All right, Perez, are you motioning to adjourn the meeting?
I am motioning to adjourn the meeting.
there's no one online or anything that would want to ask a question?
There is nobody online.
Okay, I'll go ahead and second that motion to adjourn the meeting at 7 a.m.
Thank you.
7 what?
All in favor?
Well, 8:37. Well, it's 8:38 now.
So what time am I putting?
We need to first vote on it.
So there's a motion at 8:38.
I.
Aye.
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 All righty.
All right, thank you,
Mr.
everybody.
Perez,
Yes,
this is unrelated, but so the meeting is over?
the meeting is over. We can talk in a little bit. Let me stop. Okay, hold on.